6 million Jews were murdered during the Holocaust. The generation that went through this horrific event is all but gone. And as that generation passes, people are forgetting the stories of what had happened. It wasn't just that the Nazis murdered 6 million people. It was that they took children as young as 5 years of age and put them in freezing chambers because they wanted to know how long it would take a child to freeze to death. Or they would take an old man, imagine for a moment somebody you know in your life, a father figure, an elder man who did nothing wrong, just took care of his family, worked hard, never broke a law, but simply because he was Jewish, was given 100 calories of food a day and put in a cage because they wanted to know how long it would take a human being to die on 100 calories of food a day. The Nazis would take infants, sometimes hours after they were born, and would execute them. One message I always give to my students, younger people, if you have a chance to hear from a survivor, do so, because you are the last generation that will have this opportunity. Your children will not even have this chance. And it is coming at a time where we're seeing anti-Semitism rising higher than it's been during my entire adult life. And what is of great concern is how it's coming from so many different places. And very often people will not condemn it if it comes from, quote unquote, their team. We know that there's anti-Semitism on the far right wing of our political spectrum, but too many Republicans will not condemn it. And we know that it comes from the left wing of the Democrat Party, and too many Democrats will not condemn it. We know it comes from has-been celebrities and athletes who I get they may not be the brightest folks, but folks, they have millions of followers, and those millions of followers oftentimes not only don't condemn them, they often parrot their hate. And it also comes, and this might upset a few people hearing this, but it's true, it needs to be said, it is also coming from academia. Surprisingly enough, for many DEI programs, diversity, equity, inclusion programs, who over the last several years nationally, we have seen them invite and promote people and events that are clearly anti-Semitic. Why does all this matter? It matters because if, God forbid, it ever happens again and people want to round up the Jewish people again, they're not going to care what team you're part of. They're not going to care if you're a Republican Jew who voted for Trump or a Democrat Jew who voted for Biden. They're not going to care if you're an Orthodox Jew with a kosher kitchen or a secular Jew eating a bacon cheeseburger. They're not going to care if you're a 20th generation Jew or a Jew who's just converted or a Jew whose father's Jewish and mother is not. They're not going to care. And you think, well, I'm not Jewish, I'm not worried. It's not just the Jewish people. Hitler didn't just murder Jews. He murdered Slavs and Gypsies and homosexuals and Poles and countless numbers of other people. So either we are in this together or we lose. And we know what the consequences of our losing. I'm very grateful that I work on a college campus that holds a Holocaust memorial event every year. And we've had amazing support from our college presidents. But going to a Holocaust memorial event, listening to Survivor, that's the easy part. What I'm challenging people to do is more. I'm saying next time you hear somebody who you generally agree with, right? Whether it's a political person, an academic group, a musician, a singer, whatever, that says or does something that's honestly and objectively anti-Semitic, you speak up. And that's going to make some people upset. You may upset some coworkers or friends or even family. But folks, if survivors have the courage to tell their stories of the most horrific moments of their lives, if people had the courage to risk their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust, each of us should have the courage to speak up against anti-Semitism, no matter where it comes from. And yes, we live in a harsh, tough, nasty world. But one thing I know and I believe, that as tough and nasty and harsh as this world is, each of us within ourselves has the courage and the strength to be stronger than all that negativity. We just have to choose to do so. So I thank you for listening. God bless. Thank you, everyone.